early, very early.
You want to see a dead body? Bang.
Look, right now, I think that there is a legitimate, non-hyperbolic argument to be made that Zion Williamson may be the NBA's most exciting player. Now, a lot of this is stemming from some Will Guillory content on The Athletic where he talks about this. But, I mean, after watching Zion do what nobody does against Rudy Gobert, and I mean absolutely dominate that man in the paint. The man who's won multiple NBA Defender of the Year, we're probably going to win Best Defender again this year. And Zion wasn't just like slipping it past him, though he did with some finesse. He was bodying him at times as well as he dominated the third quarter the other night, which set up the win. Like that combined with this little Jeff Duncan tidbit here. He says, quote, "The NBA has no answer for Zion Williamson right now. He extended his league best mark of consecutive games with 23 or more points to 11 in the 129-124 win against Utah Jazz Monday night. His streak began with a 29-point scoring night against Chicago, February 10th. During that run, Williamson is averaging 29.5 points per game while shooting 65% from the field. There's nobody that is playing better basketball than Zion Williamson right now.
And here's the deal. Everyone wants to talk about his height, and he's not, tall enough to be able to dominate inside. This man has been doing this his entire basketball life. Like, you don't think he's figured out a way for him to be special? Like, he's got the hype that he's gotten because he just dominated AAU. There's a lot of guys that dominate AAU. No, he is this kind of prospect because people have seen him do it. And it doesn't matter who you put him against because you can put him against a 7-footer. He's going to find a way. You can put him against an athletic guy. He's going to be stronger than him. Like, he has everything that you need. He can be stronger than you. He can be faster than you. Whatever he's got to do, he has that in his tool belt. That's what makes him special. He can change his game to whatever your strength is. And I think people are finally realizing that. Yes, he's only 6'6", and I say only 6'6", but he's look, Charles Barkley did a lot of great things at his height in the NBA, and I would say Zion is way more skilled. I don't say way more. Charles is a great player, but offensively, Zion can do some things at the rim that Charles couldn't even do.
Well, and look, I think Barkley was from a bit of a different era where so much of what Barkley did, he had such incredible natural athleticism, but he probably didn't maximize it in the way that Zion nowadays can with like trainers and diets and like everything else that these guys are into. Now, look, I'm not throwing stones. I love Sir Charles growing up.
Too.
That was like my favorite player growing up, especially because I grew up as like a chubby, undersized big man in basketball.
What do we think in Charles Barkley? Like actual height?
I think I've heard like 6'4", maybe.
6'4" is what I've heard,
yeah. Which, I mean, hey, even more insane. But yeah, Zion is the blob. He can adapt to any situation, and he is a mismatch in any situation.
The blob, like Flubber?
And, no, like the blob, like the old horror movie that just consumes everything in its past. But hey, shout out Flubber. Shout out Robin Williams. Excellent movie, excellent actor, better actor than the movie. And then, but Jake, and now what it's leading to is Zion represents almost a literal game changer in terms of scheme, in terms of like an acceptable style of basketball in the NBA. Everything is supposed to be built around the three-point line now. Yep. If you can't shoot threes, you're supposed to be a very bad offensive team. The Pelicans' problem is not offense. It's defense. It's defending the three-point line. If they could even get decent defensively, just not record-settingly bad. They are on pace to give up more threes than any team in NBA history. If they could just get decent in that regard, they would be a legitimately good team because they have a top 5 offense in the NBA, and it's built in this incredibly odd way. Because we were all talking about, will Ingram fit together? Will Zion fit together? Do they have enough shooting? And all of these things that we assumed, right? Well, how's Steven Adams going to work? Zion needs space. That's the crazy thing. He doesn't. Like, we were wrong in what he needs because we didn't understand what his skill set was fully capable of. He doesn't need the space.
Did you think we'd ever be talking about point Zion?
No.
Like, that's not something we even
I didn't know he could handle like that.
No, we didn't, but they have found ways to utilize. Look, when you have a guy, or scratch that, when you have a dude, you have to allow him to do all the dude things. Like, you've got to say, okay, we are going to win or lose with Zion. No longer can we hide him. No longer can we restrict him in his minutes. If we are going to be a team that competes for the postseason, it's got to go through this guy because that's the way basketball is now, right? We see LeBron play the point. We see Kawhi play the point. I mean, guys that don't play that position, the ball now goes through them because that's what basketball's become.
And that's what it took. And when the Pelicans have gotten like exorbitantly good recently offensively, to your point, Jake, that's exactly what they've realized. He is your best offensive weapon. Run everything through him, and he has vision. He's not like I've watched a lot of Pelicans basketball, and I'll just never forget. I used to call Tyreek Evans he reminded me of a football player back then. I think was his nickname Wolverine, or did I call him Wolverine? The point is, he would just he would take that ball, go high and tight, and he was barreling in and throwing it up no matter what. Zion keeps his eyes open. He has this incredible soft touch when he needs it around the rim. He can adjust in the air. His passes, his court vision is so beyond what you would think it would be at this age. And so again, this transcendent skill set that we're just not used to seeing, that we tried to pigeonhole into archetypes that we are used to seeing, he is smashing all of those archetypes, and he's really potentially changing the NBA in terms of, or at least changing the Pelicans in terms of having success in a way that we did not think was possible in the NBA anymore. And I'm very excited, and now they're probably going to lose to the Bulls.
No, okay.
That we spent all this time
Look,
hyping
listen,
them up.
I've told you this, ye of little faith. Okay,
I know, I've been burned.
Since they've made the move, though, and Zion's been such a big part of what they do, and the ball's been going through him, all those things, okay? When you look at it, they beat Boston, they beat Detroit, then they've got very close losses against two good teams, the Bucks and the Spurs.
That's
Spurs
fair.
better than we thought they would be, okay? You have a 4-point loss and a 3-point loss, and then you go and beat the Jazz.
Okay.
So even in their losses, those are against quality teams on the road. Now, that's something you've got to figure out to be able to get to the postseason. But since they've kind of changed their playing style, since they have kind of really figured out who they want to play. Like if Kyrie Lewis, if you're not going to do it on both ends, you can't play for us.
Yeah.
Jackson Hayes, right? If you can't do it on both ends, you can't play for us.
Billy
okay?
Hernan-Gomez
right?
killed Jackson Hayes. And
so
it's been great.
they have now gone to this rotation that is going to be 8 deep. Can they do it forever? No. But since they have made that move and concentrated on who they truly are, they've played much better. This is why this game is big for them, because you've got you cannot lose to Chicago at home.
And it is kind of an interesting maybe litmus test is the right phrase, because as we said, the Zion streak started in that previous Chicago game where he was dominant offensively, but the defense failed you. This game, during this streak, this team has grown so much offensively. This game will be a great measuring stick for, okay, how much better have they actually gotten in this run? It began with Chicago. What will they do against Chicago tonight? I can't wait. 7 p.m., tipping it off in the blender. Let's go, Big Z. The most exciting player in the NBA right now plays in the 504. How about that? Coming up next, here on Off the Bench, Would You Rather Wednesdays. Get your Would You Rathers in the Body for YouTube chat. We'll break them down next on OTB.